All right, welcome to Live from My Drum Room. I'm joined today by original drummer and founding member of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, producer, singer, songwriter, and returning champion, also a Hall of Fame inductee, don't let me forget that, and a returning champion on my show, Stan Lynch, along with singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, John Christopher Davis of the Speaker Wars, and the Speaker Wars self-titled debut record drops May 30th. And I'm so excited to have Stan and John here with me today to talk about it, talk about their collaboration. So without further ado, please welcome two of the most handsome men in the music business.
Oh, yeah.
Stan Lynch and John Christopher Davis. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for being here. Stan's used to my nonsense, so he's just sort of taking it in stride here. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, guys, I know you've been hitting the pavement hard on promotion and talking about this record. And congratulations! I've been digging the first two tunes that I'm aware of, and I know there's a third that's out now or soon to be out. A third song.
Yep.
But I've been digging It Ain't Easy and You Make Every Lie Come True. I just had to make sure I read that right because that's such a great title. You Make Every Lie Come True. And there's some truth to that, I think.
I would agree. Yes.
Well, let's start with how you guys got to working together, how the collaboration started. Stan, I'm going to let you start because you had told me about this working with John a while back, but in the very early stages of it, I think, right? Maybe a couple of years ago? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Well, John and I we met a while back. We were both in Nashville, and we were both writers on different publishers, and we got put together on a blind date. And I had no expectation. And when John walked in, it was just a real easy collaboration. He's like the little brother that I always wish I'd had, he was goofy and fun and had these great reference points on the compass musically that we could both go to immediately. We both had like these cool, even for just gospel, blues, old school rock. It was real easy to go like, yeah, you dig Otis, you dig Wilson Pickett, you dig that. You dig like the Louvin brothers, you dig the Everlys, and there was no bag. It was like, so that made it real easy for me because I'm just not into that. I'm not into like trying to write a hit song. I wouldn't even know what that is. It's all. So it was really fun. And we got together. I think one of the first songs we wrote was that You Have to Make Every Lie Come True, which is just wish fulfillment for me. It was just like, it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. Yeah. I've been so full of shit my whole life as a kid, saying all these wonderful things were going to happen. And it was like, I had to believe, I just had to believe. And then the only saving grace for this guy in the song is that, the right woman writes into it, comes riding in, and she makes it all come true. So otherwise, the guy is totally unredeemable.
Well, John, what was it like to, Stan has had this incredible career, just incredible, and continues to. So were you at all, and you had experience, obviously, before you met Stan as a songwriter, singer-songwriter. But was there any little bit of, I hate to use the word intimidation, but was there any sort of like, did it feel real natural? Were you a little skittish at first?
D, all of the above. Of course. Yeah. You'd be an idiot to not be intimidated.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, like the song says, you make every lie come true. I'm living my lie. I'm with my favorite drummer in the history of rock and roll and writing songs with him. So, it's pretty surreal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I've known Stan a long time, and I would say this if he wasn't looking at me right now, and he's just one of the greatest humans on the planet. But I remember the first time I met him in the 80s, he, it was intimidating because he was Stan Lynch, and he was, as a drummer, he was such a hero. So I can totally see, you look at him, look at the look he's given us, but talk about a guy that when you get to know his soul, he's just the most unintimidating guy you could ever know,
I could not agree with you more.
Yeah.
Good night. Yeah. Yeah.
So pursue him. What a guy. Let's have a drink to whoever we're talking about. I like that guy.
Me too.
Yeah. So that was the first tune, Stan, by your recollection, that you wrote together was, yeah. And was it pretty quick and easy? Did it come together pretty fast? Or John?
Well, if memory serves me correctly, Stanley had the melody and the chorus, and hey, you make every light come true. Hey, you make every light come true. It's like there's nothing we can't do. You make every light come true. And I just remember going, "That's it. That's the chorus. Yeah, that's the chorus." But I was quickly reminded of my favorite choruses in rock and roll.
Yeah,
Proud Mary, you make every light come true. Refugee, like. You don't have to like put too much furniture in the room for a chorus. So yeah, and we were emailing some verses back and forth, and I thought, sure, I'm gonna write like Bob Dylan. I'm gonna rock like Johnny Cash. Yeah, I mean, it's so full. We're both full of shit, but how fun! And I think it turned out a great record, and I couldn't be happier.
Should we play that track right now? Should we jump in and play it?
How dare you?
All right, let's play it. You talked me into it, fellas.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Let her rip.
Here we go.
I'm gonna write like Bob Dylan. I'm gonna rock like Johnny Cash. I'm gonna stand on the Grand Ole Opry, sing my songs while the cameras flash. I'm gonna live to see 100. I'm gonna age like a fine French wine. Hey, there's nothing I can't do. Hey, you make every lie come true. We're gonna build our own Graceland. Gonna swim in Dom Perignon. We're gonna dance like Fred and Ginger. I'll provide like Don Corleone. You'll have a yacht the size of Texas. We'll make love on the moon. Hey, there's nothing we can't do. Hey, you make every lie come true. You make my life believable 7 days a week. All my lies come true. Hey, baby, there's nothing we can't do. Yeah, baby, you make all my lies come true. Hey, there's nothing we can't do. Hey, you make every lie come true. Hey, yeah, baby. Hey,
Yeah. All
Right on.
Right on, man. What a catchy, what a great tune. Great tune.
What a ham you are, man. John, man, it's like you smoked ham, man. Like,
You're talking about that John, not this John, right?
no. I'm just looking at my John. I'm just going like, ham. That's country ham. All the way, baby. I love it. So proud of you.
Yeah, great vocals, man.
Yeah. Pure pork, man. Pure pork.
No, that's the thing. Look, the fun thing about being in this band is John can sing, and it's it's really fun. That makes it. I won't say easy, but it sure is. You sure have a leg up when the delivery system at the microphone, at $100 microphone, can it make it fun to follow? And that, as a drummer, that's really, for me, I don't know. Look, there's all kinds of drummers, but I've never been a drummer. I'm a drummer in a band. And so if I'm in a band and the guy can sing, my whole gig is to just, does that work with the singer? So that's been fun to have my old job back.
Oh man, well said, Stan. That's beautiful. Yeah. I can totally, and as a drummer, I can totally understand what you're saying, because the songs are so great that, it's just nothing but fun playing them. And I totally get that.
We all kind of do that as drummers. The most fun songs we learned were probably covers, So it's fun when one of your own songs almost feels like a cover. You go like, oh, cool. Like I like the record. I know I can make it better live, because that's how it always works. You make a record, and then after you play it a few times, you go, oh man, why didn't I? But that's totally normal. I know where to file that after 30 records of like whatever, 4 probably, where you go, what was I thinking? Why didn't I? But it's fun. And like I said, having John, having some country ham up front is always that makes it a lot more fun for me.
So let's talk. I want to talk about playing them live in a minute, because that's definitely what I'm keen to learn about. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, the instrumentation in the studio. I know both of you guys play a lot of instruments. Did you guys play all the instruments on these songs, or did you had the other band members come in and play on them as well?
Stanley, you or me?
Yeah, John.
Sure. The first 2 singles. Hang on. You Make Ever Like 'Em True. That's obviously Stanley on drums. It's me and on bass. A lot of the guitars. Stanley also played B3 on it. So there weren't a whole lot of people who touched it. It was mixed by a buddy of mine named Chris Responte. I think he may have put a guitar on it and then did a harmonica, but it was it was a demo, really, that we turned into a record because we recorded during COVID.
Yeah.
But but to answer your question, no. I mean, the band came together after COVID. Once it was, safe to like fly back and forth between Florida and Texas, that's when the live band came together. And that's my recollection.
Okay. Yeah. That's some badass B3 playing you got there, Stan. I did not know you had those kind of chops.
You give me enough time, I'll come up with something.
Well, also keep in mind, he learned from the best.
Of course. Yeah.
This is the thing. It's like, even if you suck, if you've been around people that are really good, you know what it's supposed to sound like. And that's huge. I mean, it's a funny thing to say, but it's really true. Like, if you've been in the room when it went down, you know what I mean? And like, I've been really lucky, man. I've been in so many great rooms when it was happening, that it's like, you file it. You just go, okay. Well, and I'm never going to play as good as Ben Montench, but at least I know what it's supposed to sound like. You know what I mean? It's like, I know, so that's really cool. And it's the same with drumming. It's like, having been out of the drumming world for so long and having produced and been in the room with these amazing drummers, these world-class guys, and you watch how they approach playing drums and you go, wow, it's just continuing education is still, it's as close to like, I guess it's my new sex. It's like I just keep learning and I keep learning. And it's like, oh man. And the more I know, I realize I don't know shit. So it's just great. It's just great.
But you can't underestimate the experience you've had making records for coming on 50 years too. I mean, that is, I mean, you can go in there in a situation like this, and I'm guessing know right away that what's going to work and what's not going to work, having done this so much for so long.
I keep an open mind, John. I really do. It's like, I mean, I really love a good idea, and I love being intimidated. I love not knowing what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not a by rote guy. I always want the uncharted path. And it's like, so if I walk into a room, yeah, sure, I got a toolbox. It's really big and it's full of all kinds of weird fishing lures and stuff that may be good, that we're going to be able to use. But what if John walks up to the microphone and does something I go like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's so exciting to me to be in a room with cats. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I might be the voice of experience, but so what? I mean, that could be easily misinterpreted as get off my lawn,
Yeah, no, exactly. And John, I and doing some research on you, you're a bit younger than Stan and myself.
Who ain't?
Youngster that you are, and but you have like an old soul. I'm thinking you think like someone who's, because you've had that sort of generational experience somehow, with all the music you've listened to.
Look, man, you've heard the cliche, I was born too late. I'm a total cliche. Hell yeah. Like, if you could, look, man, if I could have been dropped off between 72 and 80, that would be my shit, man. That would be my jam. And that was my church. It's what I grew up on, and I studied it like a preacher would a Bible. I would take, probably like you guys, I'd take the albums home. Long story short, I got my $5 allowance. I would drive down to the drugstore and buy the record, go back home on Saturday, lock the door because I didn't like my parents, put my headphones on, and I would study these albums and who produced it, who wrote it, who engineered it, mastered it, all that. And it just, it got into me. It got into my bones at a very early age. So it's still in my bones. It's more in my bones than it's ever been. That's what's weird about it.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense because you think like somebody from an older a generation before you, I guess is only the
man.
Best
it's all about mojo, man, and this. You're a good drummer, man. I mean, mojo. There's no expiration date on mojo. It's like, so it's wherever your mojo. It's like there it is, like a radar, right?
Yeah.
There it is. That's what I gravitated towards, and I was just very lucky enough to have Stanley be kind enough to go get in there.
And the response you guys are getting, it looks to be pretty incredible. It's like people have been waiting for something like this for some time. And just to step back a second, when you mentioned, reading like the liner notes, who engineered it, who produced it, you guys are the producers for this record, right? Yeah, both you guys, co-produced. Yeah, no, and it sounds like it's got your mojo in it. You know what I mean? It's got your fingerprints all over it. Can I read you a question from someone who's watching, who seems to be a very, very big fan, I'm guessing. Her name is Janet Massa Lavelle. And question for the guys: love seeing you both in Gainesville at Tom Petty Weekend in November. Looking forward to the album and tour. Will you announce your tour soon? And will you be returning to Tom Petty Weekend this year?
Stanley, be my guest.
Thank you. We had a ball. That was our kind of a coming out party. We played a gig and it went great. The audience was lovely. As far as future touring, this is all like in the cosmos right now because we're, thanks to people like John DeChristopher, we're like, turn your audience onto us. We want to go play live. It's a big deal to put a band on the road. It's hard. It's expensive. We're trying to cut through the chatter right now. I mean, it's like, I'll drop all pretense. This is great that you're helping. And I appreciate that, all you listening. We would love nothing more than to show up and play, because we got us a good band and we can do it. So
yeah,
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, well, there's hope. Yeah, and I'm going to mention this several times throughout the show today, but it's May 30th is when the record drops. So John, I'll put, as you said, you'll get me the information, and I'll put the link in the show where people can pre-order the record, presumably. Yep. Okay. Great.
You bet.
Great. I will do that when we're done. Yeah, and I'm going to just see if there are any other questions here, and then we'll kind of keep moving on, because I have lots to ask you guys. Can I actually take a little sidebar and ask Stan a drum geek question? Because as always, there are a lot of drummers watching when Stan's on.
How could you not?
All right, and we'll ask some guitar related questions too for you, John. Absolutely. But Stan, you, as always, man, your sound is so great on the two tunes that I've heard, on that one and the one we're going to play in just a few minutes. It Ain't Easy, and specifically the snare drum. Is it your old Ludwig that you used? Is it a Black Beauty or Ludwig Superphonic?
Well, it might be track to track, but I think these first two songs you're playing, that was those are all demos, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like John was saying, during COVID, we had to learn to file share, and I had to learn to be an engineer. It was a man maker those couple of years.
Yeah, you know, I remember.
I mean, we were all setting fire to our clothes and burning our groceries, and and we were all going to die. And it was like, so I mean, after about 6 months of that, I mean, it was like, well, I don't have the ability to bring an engineer into my studio, so I'm going to learn to do all this stuff. So a lot of those, well, all that whole basically that record with the drum sounds for me were like, what do I got? What can I borrow? And so I think I had an old Ludwig drum kit. This is before Dixon hooked me up, and I used an old, they were like, I'm glad you asked. Can you all
all right?
This
yes.
This is an olive badge, Superphonic.
Yeah.
And this is what I probably did most of the Petty records, pretty much all of them, except for maybe a couple. And it's set up, by our dear, we all know, like, Jeff Jonas is the way he sets up with the cool butt plate with the Allen screws. And so once Jeff Jonas set this drum up for me 35, 40 years ago or whatever it was, I don't think I've ever deviated. It's like, wow, this is how it's going to be. It's going to have a white coated, a thin, it's going to have the, pure sounds. And it's and that's pretty much like my whole locker. All my snares are all Jeff Jonas approved. And
what a sound. I remember, it's all coming back to me, Stan, because I remember us talking about this, like you said, 5 years ago. And man, that's crazy to think about that, 5 years. But I assumed it was that drum because of the history you've had with that drum. But it's amazing how track to track, I mean, it sounded great on that last track, but on It Ain't Easy, that I'm going to play in a minute, it sounded like the baddest ass brass shelled snare I've ever heard, like a honking Black Beauty.
But I don't think it is. I think basically I've never been one to think about my drum sound. I think about the song. And it's like, I mean, I know it sounds like I'm a broken record about the song, but it's like, if John and I have a song that we go, hey, look, this one's probably got to go to the show. Let's find out. Let's find out if we can make this thing walk and talk, as you know what I mean? So once I hear where the song's going and I hear John's rough vocal or guide vocal, which sometimes turned out to be the keeper, because he'll throw down on that old 57 and it's like, shit, we're not going to sing that again, dude. That's it. So then it's up to me to figure out what the pulse and the sound is going to be, the drums sort of fit in. I don't start with a drum sound. That's probably back-asswards, but it's like, I don't start with like, here's my drum sound. I start with, what's this song telling me it needs?
Yeah.
The scale of the record is in direct reference to how much ass John's putting out. You know what I mean? Like if he's biting down hard, I'm going to bite down hard. If he's being cool, I'm going to find a way to make it breathe. And so a lot of these drums, well, hell, I'd say all the drums on this record are as a result of like, let me put up my microphones, let me see. And I got a lot of chances with it, which was cool too. I got to play the song multiple times, multiple tries, sometimes a couple different tempos, until we figured out where does this thing live? And we're still figuring it out. Like I said, now the record's out and we go into a rehearsal room and we go, oh, well, shit, there it is. Why didn't I do that? John's doing the same thing. He's calling me up at 4 a.m. going, I know I can sing that again, man. Dude, it's okay.
It's true.
I know. It's like buyer's remorse. It's like once it's vinyl, it's final. You know what I mean? So you kind of go, well, you got to live with it, man. You got to live with it.
Stan, would you say that so much of your approach to this is the result of you being a producer? Like you've been a producer for a long time now, and you're kind of wearing, without even thinking about it, sometimes you're kind of wearing that hat when you're coming up with the drum part. Like, whereas, not to say when you were just a drummer, but it sounds to me that way, that you're taking such a 10,000-foot view of the tune rather than the 100-foot view as the drummer. You're like looking at the whole thing going, what am I going to play here? What am I going to use? What's going to be the right tool from the toolbox?
Well, the drums have become, I've learned so much about what it is to be a drummer after the fact, after my drumming, sort of after I really did it, which is so fascinating to me. Like now I really understand the job and the responsibility, and so when you put down a drum track, it's like, it's a big deal. It wasn't a big deal when I was back with the Heartbreakers. I was just having a ball. You know what I mean? I was having fun. Now there's more responsibility when you're the guy controlling the console and predicting what this record is going to be down the line. So my job is always now to how little can I get away with, because I want the other guys to fill in the holes. So it's before I was more like, man, I just want to throw up all over this wall and I want to see what sticks, and I want to make a fool of myself. I want everybody to, now it's like the drums to me as a producer, you kind of look at your drummer gig and you go, well, who would I hire for this? You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of have to hire myself most of the time and go, well, I really don't need a whole lot out of them. I just need to play a pocket and support the singer, get around it,
Absolutely, yeah. And John, is your main instrument guitar? Is that what you started off on, or did you start on piano, keyboards?
I started off on drums.
You did? Okay.
Oh yeah, my old Slingerland kit, which I regret selling, be worth a fortune today. But anyway, then I went into piano, guitar, bass, mandolin, harmonica, a squeeze box. I mean, I'm not really good at, I've never mastered any craft, but I know I'm just enough to be dangerous. Like I can, which is great. Like if you're a songwriter, producer, and you're in the studio, like you can at least speak the lingo to the other cat. Can I show you what I'm hearing? And so I'm grateful for that. Yeah. So
do you still play drums? Do you still get behind a kit occasionally and play? You have a kit at home in the studio? Or?
I don't, but do I get behind it every sound check I can? Oh yeah. 100%. It's like Stanley's in the bathroom, Ritter's gone. Like, fuck yeah, man! I'm gonna get on it. Yeah, I mean, because that honestly, it was my first love. It still is. And and speaking of drums, and I know John, you can relate to this. what's the old cliche? You know, if it don't got that swing, it ain't no thing if it doesn't got that swing.
Yeah.
And and it's true. It's like, and that's what I love. I'm a backbeat player. Stanley's a backbeat player. And so it comes very natural to me for, playing a guitar or a bass to Stanley's track.
He's got so much swing, man. He's just the king of swing and his playing.
It's hypnotic.
And it's, and I'm going to play I want to play It Ain't Easy because this song to me is a great example of, we listen to You Make Every Lie Come True. And from a geeky drummer standpoint, Stan's like just on the money, right in the pocket. And I've listened to both of these tunes a whole bunch over the last couple of days. And It Ain't Easy. It's got that little behind the beat kind of Stan Lynch trademark thing. You know what I mean? That little like greasy, lazy kind of, not to say Stan's lazy, but it's I'm talking about the beat.
Oh man, I'll be greasy and lazy. That's good. I'll take them both.
Yeah. Well, let's play it. This is so this is It Ain't Easy, and we'll play the whole track, guys. You okay with that?
Your call, dude.
I love the song. You're not hurting.
Great. Okay. It's a little longer than the first one, but it's no one's gonna get bored. So here we go. It Ain't Easy. Speaker Wars.
Cool.
Half your friends thought be there to the bitter end. It ain't easy. This growing old, a young man runs when the truth gets told. It ain't easy. Shaking hands with your past. It ain't easy. Learning nothing lasts. It sure ain't easy. Knowing when you've had enough. It's a slap to your face when it's time to give it up. Vision fades, soul remains. Even tread along the way. On the unpaved road, much alone. But when I'm all done, and I take my last breath, you can have what's left. It ain't easy to get a good night's sleep. It ain't easy for an honest man to earn his keep. And it hurts my heart to watch a weak man fade away and never leave his mark and leave this world without a trace. Vision fades, soul remains. Even tread along the way. On the unpaved road, much alone. But when I'm all done, when I take my last breath, ooh, you can have what's left. You can have what's left. As the years move on, it ain't easy. Letting go or holding on, it sure ain't easy. But you'll always be walking the line between one and me. 'Cause vision fades, soul remains. Made a damn good trade along the way. Much alone. When it's said and done, I lay down to rest. The life I love has no regrets, 'cause I know I have the best. You can have what's left. You can have what's left. So ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Man, I gotta say, people watching this at home are freaking out over that track. I mean, over both, but that one really is just something else. Stan, I want to ask you a question from a fellow drummer, good friend of mine from a long time, Trey Gray. He's the drummer with Brooks and Dunn,
Yeah.
lives in Nashville. Great drummer, great guy. And he said, killer track. Always been curious when Stan does his quick right hand sweep on his Crash or China. Does his hand get fatigued?
I'm
A
not
quick-
quite sure which is
Those quick swipes on a Crash or a China.
apparently not. I guess it's just it's probably
It's a muscle you develop.
way to do things. You know, I think I've figured out, you know, like over time, what I won't say what I can get away with, but it's like how little I don't overwork. I really try not to overwork. I mean, there was a time in my life, probably when I met you. Yeah, I was balls out. You know, you know, it was an athlete. It was a contact sport to play drums. You know, like
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
It was almost like hitting a sled. You know, like for a running back. Now I like to play the drums rather than harm them. So I think I don't hit the cymbals very hard. I've never broken a cymbal. Probably since I was 15 was the last cymbal I broke. I don't remember the last time I broke a drumstick. Doesn't mean I don't hit hard and with desire. I mean, I want to do what I'm doing most of the time. I mean, there's a lot of accidents in life, you know, and I think he can, you know, your drummer pal can relate. But I think just smacking around on cymbals, it just seems like that's probably the easiest way to do it, is to kind of grace them and not. I don't really play through them. I sort of play across them, you know.
And you've got such a relaxed approach. You know, you sit up and you play very relaxed, and I'm sure you've developed that ability to like crash with really just the minimal effort from your wrist. You know, you're not having to, you know, like you say, play into it really hard to get the same sound you can get from just swiping it. You know,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. And your cymbals are a little overrated. I think like in terms of record making, a little goes a long way. I mean, it really does. I mean, cymbals are right in this. I've learned this as a producer. They're right in the sonic real estate as vocals, lead guitar, acoustic guitars. You got to be careful. Like the real estate you take is really important as a drummer. Like if you're up there playing all that high end stuff, it's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Especially like I love, like, you know, drummers, they always go to the ride cymbal during a solo. It's like, why? You know, the old Stax records, they don't. You know, they don't even hit a crash cymbal. They bring in a tambourine, or like if you need that little extra. because you don't want that competing information. It's so yeah, I probably don't hit them that often. You know, I mean that track, it's a tribute to Simon Kirke. You know, I mean, let's be honest. Like the that's right off of I'm Leaving You. You know what I mean? That's every. You know, I mean, that's, you know, if
it definitely had that Simon Kirke, Bad Company, Free, behind the beat kind of, you know, just a little bit behind feel that just, I feel like it's just really makes that track feel amazing, just amazing.
That's growing up, you know, like Simon Kirk's like I'm the bastard son of Simon Kirke. You know, it's like he won't claim me, but I'm going to claim him. It's like, you know, but it's true. I mean, you know, everything I grew up listening to, that Free Live album, you know, Mr. Big and all of those records, you know, I think he said it really cool in your last thing. He said, look, we're just passing it on. You know what I mean? So, you know, Simon probably thinks he took it from somewhere and he's passing it on. I'm taking it from Simon and going, man, if that works for you, but you got to know where it all comes from. It doesn't, you know, I stand on the shoulders of giants, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Well, you know, you mentioned earlier, Stan, something to the effect of sounding great through a 57. And, you know, I see John singing through a 57 on the video. Did you actually record through a 57, singing through a 57?
Well, we did on the Never Ready to Go 57, Forgiveness Tree 57. That's the next single coming out next week.
Okay,
no popper stopper, because we're just recording ideas, honestly. And I don't know, he may have given me 3 takes, because again, we're recording a demo. By the time you comp 3 takes, it's like, well, that's pretty good. That's not too bad. Not too shabby, boys. And so, a lot of this was just pretty quick, right off the floor, and not very technical.
I think that's, I mean, Tom obviously famously only sang through an SM57, right? I mean, in the studio. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I mean, sometimes, you know, if they were, especially live, you know, it would be like, but I think, I think the key to this record, and we've got a lot of stuff in the can already. We've got a lot of recorded material. Most of it is based on like sort of soul power. Like, even if it sounds a little bit crusty or weird, like we know that can be fixed or it can be helped. And we've got this great cat we hooked up with named Mike Pisterzi, who's sort of been our exec, who's like gone like, look, man, let me see if I can get all the, he's the one who actually sequenced the record and did the assembly of these songs, because we had a lot of songs, and Mike was willing to listen to everything and go, hey, I think this is an album. Let me assemble that. And that was really nice. And it was fun to be in a band because I could turn loose a little of that. I mean, of course I got an opinion, you know, like, hey man, knock yourself out. Let me see what you got. And he did. And so a lot of that stuff was sonically pretty deficient and weird, but you know, but thanks to Mike and his partner, he would be like, he could massage it into something that sounded presentable, you know?
Yeah. And that last track, It Ain't Easy, again, is that mostly you two on that one? Was that a similar type where playing most of the instruments?
Well, clearly Stanley on drums. Yeah, I play and on guitar. That's him on lead guitar. I played bass.
Whoa, what?
Oh yeah. Oh no, he's a fucking great. Sorry, I should probably say that. Edit that out. But he's a fucking great guitar player. I mean, come on, kind of like Ben. Like, you learn from the best.
Yeah,
right,
man.
So no, that's Stanley on guitar. I'm on guitar. I'm on bass, and J Ellis Brown on B3, and he
B3. Okay.
He made a huge contribution to the way that record sounds. Man, he fucking kicked ass.
Did I do the Bee Gees on that?
Yes, you did. Stanley did all those high harmonies.
Yeah.
No, that's all. That's all Stanley.
That
So
was my next question. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and again, so yeah, it's Stanley, myself, and Jay Brown, and our buddy Rob Wexler, who makes the record. Again, you got to keep in mind the live band didn't come into focus till after all these songs were recorded.
Yeah.
And now, now that we've played these songs a couple of times, I'm going, well, kind of like Stanley said earlier, like, oh shit, wish I would have done that. But yeah, it's great.
I'm so used to that feeling that it was almost, it validated. Like for me, it wasn't upsetting. It was more like, oh yeah, well, that's just, that's Wednesday to have regret over your record, sure.
And that's what happens when you start playing this stuff live, which we cannot wait to do.
Oh man, I know. Me too. And as far as the other guys in the band, the other musicians, are they people you've played with, John, in the past? Are they friends from Dallas area?
Yeah, I've been very blessed. I got a nice posse that I've been with for a very, very long time. And, and I've filtered out, a lot of people like, okay, this is my gang.
Yeah.
And we play all the time. We're working constantly in Texas. So I thought, well, why not just see what happens if Stanley gets on the drums and we move Steve Ritter over to percussion and vocals. The good thing about this band, we have some really nice, pretty world-class vocals going on. So it was fun to move Steve Ritter over to percussion. But yeah, the rest of the guys I've been working with for years, they're my brothers. And I think they're now Stanley's little brothers.
That's great. And I know, we're maybe putting the cart a little before the horse, but there's the possibility, probably a good possibility, you guys will be out playing these songs on the road.
I think so. Well, that's what we'll see. We got another single, our third single, The Forgiveness Tree, arguably my favorite song on the album. That'll drop next month. And then the album, as you said, will drop on May 30th. And we'll see where we're at. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's one day at a time.
Yeah.
Selling rock and roll it's a tough job.
It is. It ain't what it used to be when it comes to that. I know. No, it's we talk about this a lot, Stan and I, and how it's changed. Yeah. But when you have such a great product, when you have such a great record, I think you guys really have a leg up in this situation.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, man. And how many tracks are going to be? How many will there be on this record when it comes out May 30th? 10. Okay, 10. And it's you guys. This was all done before the band was the rest of the guys. So it's you two guys with some other added guests.
Well, yeah, we started bringing people. It's an evolution. There's no one size fits all. The record was made absolutely song by song, piece by piece, with really no plan in mind. And that's where Mike Basterzi stepped in and said, this is what I think is a body of work. It really does take a village to pull this together. It's not like John and I went like, we got a brainchild. We had an idea of what could be cool. And a lot of people have helped, including John's band, have stepped in and added pieces and parts and done, it's been a really organic way to make a record. It was very familiar to me. It reminded me of the first Heartbreakers record where we were at Shelter and there were people around, like White Billy and Phil Seymour were around. So they're singing on Breakdown, or, it would be like, hey man, whoever's here and has got a hot hand, come on in,
You're spot on. And Stanley, it reminds me, like, speaking of hot hands, like the next single coming up, The Forgiveness Tree, our buddy Andy Timmons, who we love. I mean, he's over my hairspray, right? But he's my neighbor and I love him. He's such a beautiful, kind soul. And he was kind enough to come in. Like, I'll come over. I mean, traffic didn't suck. You could just walk 2 houses over.
But we cut that in Rob's living room.
We cut it in
Wow.
Rob Wexler's living room. Yeah, the Never Ready to Go, The Forgiveness Tree, both were cut in a living room. And both of those tracks, at least the rhythm sections, Stanley and Andy Timmons and myself, I was on bass. Yeah, that went down live.
Yeah, those are great. So it's like I said, there's the methodology is who's got a good song, where can we record it? You know,
Yeah.
it was like literally, it's so ghetto that it's great for me because you drop all the pretense of like, oh, we need a record deal, we need a shit ton of money to go record, and oh man, just grab your bucket of stuff, head over. Like if it's my house, it's Andy's house, it's and, you know, whatever amp you got, plug in and let's see what it's to me it is that is the essence of rock and roll, really. It's like you got a blown up amp, well hell, it's going to sound like this today. Now it sounds like Bo Diddley. You know, it's like that's how he ended up. I think somebody put a screwdriver through their amp speaker because it sounded so bad. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, there's your guitar tone. So it's like it's to me that is I mean, preparation is great, but planning is kind of for pussies. You know, it's like you just do it. You just do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's something so special about that spontaneity. I know that. And those two tracks that I heard have a spark to them. You know, they really do. They have like a really freshness to them. And you, Stan, you mentioned a track that was cut live. I mean, was it like a one take situation basically where you guys just went in and just hit it and did it?
Yeah. I mean, this next single that comes out is, I mean, we were just in a room going, how's that sound? You know, I mean, literally I was thinking we probably recut it somewhere down the line but like once John sang it and Andy played these beautiful ethereal orchestral pieces that only a maestro can do, you know, it's like they were so out of our pay grade that once it was on there, it was like, well, I guess that's whatever a record is today. There it is, you know.
Yeah.
Walk away
quick,
from it, you know.
John, let me make
John.
one quick correction.
Sure.
It was Brian Patterson who's in the band. He's actually one who played bass on the Forgiveness Tree. So I want to give him props.
Yeah.
Right.
It was me on It Ain't Easy and You Make Every Lie Come True. But anyway, just want to honor the truth.
Well,
no, thank you for doing that. That's great.
That's a perfect description of like, we'd have to probably go. I mean, a lot of this was it was coming together as if we were at a party almost.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you know, like, oh, pass the bass playing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, who wants to try vocals? Well, does this, you know, you try something in the background and John would go like, get up to the mic, boy, you're up. You know, be like, John's got a shaker in his hand. He's playing percussion, you know, like, oh, it's like, so that to me is so much fun. And that's what I do enjoy about the stepping back from all the pomposity and the puffery of the music business is like, hey man, put up some microphones. What kind of microphones? What do you got? You know, it's like, you know, now fortunately I've got all the good ones, but it's like, if it doesn't really matter. I mean, like we've talked about the Creedence Clearwater records, they're amazing, not because they sound amazing, but because they are amazing. The grooves are amazing. But if you listen to the drum sound and it's like, who cares? It's like, it's him. He's kicking butt, you know, like it's so the greatest records. I mean, you know, look, I'm never going to get to Steely Dan, Elliott Shiner. You know what I mean? I'm never going to get to that level of when you work with Steve Lukather, you're at such a level that all you can do is stand back and go like, wow, but you're never going to get there. Those guys got there. That's their mountaintop, you know?
Yeah, right on. Well, you know, just really quickly, what you were talking about as far as, you know, passing the bass around and, you know, just getting the track and however it might sound or feel great. It reminds me when you think about how the Beatles recorded, there was so much of that where I didn't know it until later on when I really like dug into all that music that, you know, often John might pick up the bass and play at least like where you think of Paul as the bass player, but yeah, there's John or there's Paul playing piano on a song, or maybe even drums if Ringo's not there. So
Yep.
yeah, it's that whole, the just basically the means to an end, to get the best possible finished, track.
Oh man, you just want to be on the record. You don't care what you do. It's like you don't care. It's like I really don't care who's playing what. I'd like to be on this record. It's like that's how I view every song, and I view even as the writing process. I'm like, hey, can I add? John always says, can I add value? It's like, can I add to this, or is it already enough without me in the picture? So that's the beauty of being in a band, is like nobody has their back up. They're not all bowed up about, look, it's just like, hey, so it's really fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I know, I know you've been doing a lot of these interviews, and I so appreciate you taking time to do this today, especially from what I learned, the tail end of one just before this. So thank you. I do want to read one more comment though from our friend Trey Gray, the Brooks and Dunn drummer, and he said, "Tell Stan to call Ronnie and get him to get you guys out with us sometime."
Oh,
perfect.
So, man, there you go, Brooks and Dunn.
Well, well, Trey, why don't you do it?
Yeah, Trey, why don't you do it? Why don't you call Ronnie right now?
Trey,
say, I got
Trey,
a great
hook us
band
up
to take out with us.
hook us up, because I know some Brooks and Dunn songs. They might know some of our songs. I like, great idea. Go.
Oh man,
let's go.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to mention about the record, or?
Well, I'd like to mention that I'm not the only singer on the record. Stanley has 3 pretty freaking amazing tracks where he's the lead vocalist.
All right.
Yeah. And I had to push him, like, dude, you sing your ass off. Let's go. So I'm thrilled that he's featured as a lead singer on a lot of this. So it's a great record. And Stanley, thank you for letting me be a part of this journey with you. And the same to you, John. How kind that you're sharing our music with your fan base. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm honored, guys. You know that, and it's a pleasure, and I'll continue to do whatever I can to help you guys get the music out there.
That's all we can ask. That's huge. You're in the family.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. Well, guys, hang with me for 1 second. We'll end the live stream. Say goodbye to everybody, and thank everybody for watching. Yeah. Again, everybody, a big hand for Stan Lynch, and John Christopher Davis. What a great name. Reminds me of another name.
Yeah,
and,
right. No kidding, man.
Yeah, I know.
Switching to the hospital.
Yeah, he got all the looks and the talent, but I got the
great
podcast. Yeah.
Yes, you do. You win, my friend.
I don't know about that. But remember, everybody, the Speaker Wars record drops May 30th. I'll put the link into the show notes to pre-order it immediately. And a big thanks to Stan and John for being here today.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
You guys.
Thank you.
You're so awesome. God bless you.
God bless you too. My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Bye.
All right, that's my show. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also download the podcast on all podcast platforms. A reminder that Live from My Drum Room t-shirts and hoodies are available, and 100% of the proceeds go toward a scholarship I've created with the Percussive Arts Society. Information on ordering Live from My Drum Room merch is in the show notes, and you can also email or text me with any questions at livefrommydrumroom@gmail.com. Thanks to everyone who's bought a t-shirt and a hoodie so far. You're supporting a great cause, and I really appreciate it. And remember, no drummers are harmed on any show. And drummers, when in doubt, leave it out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.